Okay, so I'm going to film my craft room, and it's off of the dining room. Here's the clock that you guys always hear in my videos going off, and I'm sure you'll hear it as we do this tour. But like I said, this room is off of our dining room, and it was like an add-on, so it's really tiny. But when we were looking for houses, it was like this was the perfect room for my craft room, and so it was definitely check that box. And so I have this sign on the door, and it says Scrap Shack, and then I have this little door knocker that's frogs. I just love frogs, so I thought that's cute on there. And so we're gonna go in here. I'm gonna try my best not to make you guys dizzy, but like I said, it's a tiny little room, and I have used every last inch of it. So you're going to see I packed everything in here. So when I'm gonna do an overview first. And so that's the door that I just came into my dining room. And then as you go around, you can see that I have used every possible inch of this room, and I found all kinds of furniture. It's very eclectic room. There's my table in the center. I have all my shelves. And then this goes out to my carport. So there's the window to the carport, and then here's the door for the carport. And then we are back at the beginning. So we'll start over here. And I apologize, like I said, it's hard to move around in here and keep the camera steady. So when you come into my room, we have the dining room here, and I have this dry erase board, and it has a calendar and notes, and so I put all of my hops for YouTube on there so I remember when to record my videos for the ones that I have signed up for. And then underneath I have, this is just a two baskets that are on there. This just holds my dry erase markers and some like brochures for some paint. And then this little folder here has my color, you know, how many layouts you've done that month. And then this holds some sketches from, because I'm part of my creative scrapbook, and they always send sketches with my monthly kit, so those are in there. Plus, like I print out all the PDFs from Chrissy's Beautiful Life, 30 days of sketches, so that's also in there, and I keep this just on the back of my door. And then as you go around, I have this shelf, and I painted it this teal color, and it was in my stepdad's house. He had it for books, and I added extra shelving to it. So he liked to read a lot of novels, and so like I added this shelf here, but because his novels would fit here, and he had like a whole bunch of them kind of all around the room, and he built them. So it's kind of fun. You're gonna find out in this room I'm very sentimental, and I keep a lot of things that mean something to me, and so I love this room for that reason, and that's why everything's kind of eclectic in here. There are things I found at thrift stores or antique stores. That's just kind of my style. So these are all my little trinkets. I bought these little jars at Michael's, and they fit on here, and there is a back row should I ever need to have more, like 2 rows, but I need to use the trinkets I have here before I start getting more and have to add a back row. And then these ones, these are fun. Person from my work got married, and she passed these out for like wedding favors, and they were perfect, and I had told her that if she had any extras, I would take them because they fit on my shelf, because, you know, this is such a short spot. And her and her husband were very happy to give me, I guess they had a lot of extras, and it was just taking up space in their house. So it worked out perfect, and they just fit in there. And it's just all of the trinkets and stuff that I have. There's some floral, here's some like wood, like little people and hearts. There's flowers up there. All kinds of trinkets. At the very top up here is just some fun. Like this, we passed out at in our wedding bag, and the little bell and the bubbles from the wedding. And so, you know, just some sentimental things. On the side here is this little Christmas halo that my mom made me a long time ago. And then this is funny. It's a Home Depot gift card holder that we got. And I just love the little apron that I want to use on a layout. And as you go down, another thing is my husband's mom has passed away, but she had a lot of spices. And so these are all her spice jars that she had in her kitchen. And so again, they just fit perfectly in here. And so I have just tons of things, all kinds of stuff to add to my layouts. And if I'm being honest, I need to come to this shelf more often and add some stuff. I've been doing the Iron Crafter Challenge every month. And if you don't know what that is, definitely sign up. It's fun because it makes you use the stuff you have. They come up with fun little things. Like this month is buttons. So I just made a layout using buttons, which I haven't done, but I have a jar of buttons. So yeah, that's kind of the Trinket wall. I have a bunch of floral things that I might use, and instead of shoving them in like a drawer, I put them in these vases. There's some floral back there. And so as you move to the right, this is the door that goes out to my carport. And so because my room is small, that's valuable space. So I actually have this cart that's on wheels. So if I do want to go outside, I can just wheel my cart out of the way and the door will open. But of course, most of the time I don't go out that door, so I just leave my cart here. And it's my machine cart, and hanging on the back is this file, like 3 file thing. Again, I just found it. It holds my Cricut mats, and then I also have the mats for my Mink machine. And then this is just a cart from Michael's, and I flipped over the shelves, so I turned them upside down so I could put my machines on them. And then the bottom one is still right side up, and so I have my heat press, and then this is just the Cricut tools, like the pins and then the blades and stuff. And of course my Cricut makers here. I have my Mink machine here, and then I found this kind of shelf thing, and so I zip tied it to the top here, and then it holds my computer. This is my Kindle, and then this is a project that I have meaning to work on. I'm going to be putting it on my channel. I got it for my birthday, and it's the adventure book from Up, and so I want to put all of my husband and I's pictures, or adventures if you will, in there. And so I really like that cart, and like I said, it rolls out of the way when I need to open the door. And then as we go over here, I just have this on the wall is just some fun pictures and memorabilia that I have. This my mom made, and she's doing screen printing. It says, so money can't buy happiness, but it can buy craft supplies. That's pretty close, and that's so true, right? So I have that hanging there, and it's really pretty. It's glittery. And then on top of this cabinet, I have my Cuttlebug, and then my dies, the few that I have. I don't have many. And then in here, I have some ribbons that are just in there, ribbon fragments, and it sits up there. And then this whole wood stand here, I painted, and then I decoupaged some decoupage paper on it. And so this is my scrap cabinet, and so I have them labeled. Well, of course, this one is junk drawer, so everyone has to have one in there, right? And this just has the crap. So like my things for my labels here, I want to hang this hook up there. Here's some of the little doohickeys for my shelves. So that's that drawer. And then, like I said, everything else is scraps, and I have them labeled. This is 12 by 12 scraps. So these are just papers that I'm not going to use, and so I put them in here to use as scraps. As you can see, I've been using this for inking to put on my underneath when I ink. And then as it goes down, I have beach scraps, since I'm doing my wedding, I have a lot of beach themed scraps, so I just have a separate drawer right now for that. So if I need any kind of beach themed scraps, I can find it easily. This is craft scraps, and then I have everything kind of organized by color. I have blue and purple, red and pink, green and brown, orange and yellow, white and ivory, and black and gray. And it's just, you open up and it's just all my scraps in there. And I did this probably this year, I want to say. And so it's my challenge to get me to use my scraps, because I had them in a bin and it wasn't working. So I'm trying colors. So as you move around, this cabinet here holds my albums that I'm currently working on. I don't scrap chronologically. I jump around a lot, which is of course why my wedding album is taking forever to finish, is because it's hard for me to just focus on one thing and I like to jump around. So they're all by year here. This is the stack of finished layouts. Waiting to do a layout share. And it's this month's, well, it's this quarter, like the last 3 months. And with Christy's Beautiful Life, I get 30 days of sketches. I get a lot more done. This bin here, it's like memorabilia and stuff that I need to scrap, or something that I've set aside because I have like paper that I want to use with it, or it had like, this is all of the stuff from our cruise we just went on, so I might use some of that. We went to a Star Wars concert, so I have the pictures in there and then the brochure. So I have all of this separated so that when I want to scrap it, I can just go to it and find the item. I have a Excel sheet that I write every event for the year on, and then I check off like if I've printed my pictures and if I've scrapped it, so I can keep track, because like I said, I don't do it chronologically. And so if I'm like, okay, I want to scrap the cruise now, then I can go to this here and find all my cruise photos, and that just works for me. And so the first cabinet here is my junk cabinet. I have no closet in here, so be gentle, guys. Down here I have some diamond dots I'm doing, and then this is just a bag from my wedding. We gave everyone that came, because we did a destination wedding, and so everyone that came got a gift bag, and we had all kinds of fun stuff in it. And so we found just these bags at the dollar store, and I printed this seahorse with the cricket, and my mom made these charms, and so that was fun. Everyone got that bag at the wedding. And so I want to do junk journaling, and so I have been collecting stuff mostly because I want to do it for my wedding. And so I have these things in here, and I know it looks a mess. I can't believe I'm showing you this, but it really is organized. Like, this is the stuff from my wedding. You know, I have buttons from when we worked on my crafts for my wedding. I gave everyone a button that said Bride Tribe. So I have those in case I want to put that in some sort of junk journal for the wedding. I have all of the brochures, all of my books that I was reading, you know, so this is all the wedding kind of stuff I've collected for the junk journal. Here's some coffee dyed paper that I've done. This is all ephemera and stuff, vintage ephemera from antique stores. And so this, I don't go on this one a lot because I haven't really started my junk journaling endeavors yet. And so I like it just kind of all in here in this cabinet. And down here, I want to do recipe junk journals. So I have the Better Homes and Gardens. I also want to do some little golden books, so I have those, some garden junk journals, things I've collected. So like I said, this is just the junk cabinet for the junk journal, right? And I've had those cabinets forever. And up here at the top, like I said, I'm very sentimental. So all of these things up here mean something to me. They were part of my childhood, or they belong to people that have passed away, or pictures. And so, you know, like this is my lunchbox when I was a kid, just those kind of things. And so I have them all up here, and I enjoy having that in the room. And so this cabinet is an Ikea cabinet, And I've had this cabinet forever. I got it when I was in college, and I used it for all my books and stuff. And so once I was done with that phase of my life, it works perfect for the craft room. And so these are some scrapbooks that I've done, really old ones. And then these are all empty ones because Hobby Lobby had a sale. And so I needed to get them when they were $6, right? So those are all empty, and that'll fill up. I need to use some for my NAU graduation. Which is what those blue ones are going to be for. And then, I'm already on to 2023. So, I'm so behind, guys. So anyways, and then I have all of my boxes. And this is kind of the other crafty things that I do. Are mixed in here. So I have this one, it says gnomes. So we made Christmas gnomes. I actually have these two up here that my mom made at Christmas, and they're so cute. They're full of rice, and they sit there, and then you get beads, and then you can add lights and beads and stuff. And so those kind of things for those are in there. This one is the Bind It All, so I have my Bind It All in there and all the supplies for it. This one says flowers, so this is like all the stuff for making anything with flowers, like the foam, or there's like these little sprigs in there. Again, these are some really old scrapbooks that I made. This is prom. This is high school, so I've been doing it since high school. This one says patterns, and so I was collecting all these kind of vintage patterns because I saw this thing where they used it and they decoupaged on furniture, like the patterns. I just thought it looked really cool. So I've been collecting it, and of course collecting but not actually doing, so it needs a drawer. This one's cross-stitched. I also cross-stitched, so this has a lot of patterns and things in there that I've collected. This one's the slice, and so this has all of my things for my slice in here. This one says Christmas crafts because, of course, that's separate. So anything that I've collected that it's so full. Christmas is my favorite. Anything I've collected that I want to do for Christmas is in there. So yeah, there's that. These top three here, let me get around my table here. These top three are my stamps. And so this isn't the best storage system for my stamps. I'll come up with something eventually, possibly, because I don't reach for them a lot, and it might be because of the way that I store them. But so I have them like categorized: flowers, nature, insects, animals. This one's tags, phrases, backgrounds, vintage, holidays, celebrations. And then when you open it, it's just a disaster in there. So I have all these stamps, and I haven't bought a brand new stamp ever. I just find these in my travels, and so I buy them for like $1, and then I don't use them. But we won't tell the husband that. So then under here we have diamond dots, which is a fun thing that I do too. So I have all of those kind of supplies in here. This one says dollhouse, and so if you look up here, try not to make you sick. Up here in the corner over here is a dollhouse from, I would say, when I was 10, and my grandpa and I built it. And so I have all the furniture and stuff. I need to repaint it. It's been a while since I was 10, and so I need to repaint it and put all of the furniture back in and everything. So I have all that in there. This one says projects. So these are just things that I have in mind to do, and so they go on that one. This is a roller stamp, and it's another thing that I have picked up. I haven't even tried yet, but I find these all the time, and so they're like for borders and this rolly thing, and so I find the little rollers all the time, and so I just buy them, and then now I need to actually do something with it. But so that has its own drawer. This one says wood crafts. Again, just things that I pick up that I might have ideas for. Like there's a fish here that I need to paint. This one says chipboard. So this is all the chipboard binder or little albums and stuff in here. Some actual like chipboard. And then when you come over here, this one says punches. So all my punches are in there. Again, not the best way to organize them, but because I have to go through it every time to look for something. So, you know, the craft room is always an evolving thing. And then this one is crochet, and this is stuff that I collected to crochet for crocheting, and you're gonna laugh at me. I don't know how, and I want to learn, so I just collect. And I've been going on YouTube trying to learn, and it's not going well. But so that's all in there, and then there's some empty albums as well. And so that's the big shelf in there. And then I also have another one of these cabinets over here. And so we'll move my cart out of the way here. And you can see that the bottom cabinets, I can't open both doors on both sides. And so I always put things down here. It's not that I don't need as much. So this is actually the photos. And so these are wedding photos. This is photos I've already scrapped. These are photos that are organized. And then on that side is just empty, like photo, what are those, holder things? And so, you know, these are the things that I don't reach for. And then this is just some old photos. This is some memorabilia stuff. So yeah, that's all just in that cabinet. And since this is on the side where I sit, this top part houses all of my stickers and embellishments. And so I have them in these containers from the Container Store. And they're all organized because I'm a theme scrapbooker. So they're all organized by theme. So I have like girl and man, music, lifestyles, and hobbies. And then I have these dividers in there that will separate them for if there's more than one category in there. Dog, cat, Halloween. This is nature and seasons. Vintage, family and friends. These are some cutting boards. This is my Martha Stewart scoreboard, glass cutting mat, the other slice magnetic mat. And then you go down here, and these are my other stickers and ephemera: travel, baby, kids and animals, school, sports, food and beverage. This one says tags, sayings, and photo corners, which it needed to be a bigger one from the Container Store. Holidays, so this is everything that's not Christmas, and birthday, and then letters. And so I have them all in here, and I will show you how in each of those that I have them organized, and I'll put that in the video now. So the containers from the Container Store hold all my stickers and ephemera by theme. So this one is labeled dog and cat. And so inside the bucket, I have all of my dog and cat ephemera or stickers, and I put them inside little photo albums. I used to have them in drawers, and I didn't like searching through a drawer for something, so I came up with this idea of having little tiny photo albums, and then I have all of my ephemera and stickers in here, and I can just flip through and look for something that I want to use. And I find that is a lot easier. Oh my gosh, look at those eyeballs. That's so cute. I find that a lot easier to look at my stickers and ephemera and then get them used up. And then inside the bucket, I have these bigger items that just kind of sit in there. I have some puffy sticker elements that I have, or there's like, this is a entire sticker pack. So that stays in there. Or if, for instance, like I've started collecting things, if it's a whole collection in there, I might keep it in the original packaging until it gets down really low, and then I'll put it inside my photo album. And so each of my themed buckets have a photo album. They don't all look like this. Some are the smaller ones, but it's just a way to help me keep all of my stickers and ephemera organized and by theme and easy for me to go through. Okay, and then so that is my stickers and embellishments. And then over here I have on the wall, I have all of my sprays. So Perfect Pearls, Glimmer Mist, Distress sprays. These are some like recollection sprays. And it kind of comes on down here because I've outgrown those shelves. And so I have these little wood buckets that I got at the dollar store because I have these fixtures, but they have hole, you know, it's not like a smooth surface. So I put things in these little buckets so that they hold. And so I have my distress inks. Here's some Lindy's. This is my glossy accents. And then I have like some funnels back there. These are some replacement sprayers. You come down here, I have some heavy gesso, some texture paste. This is some Nuvo embellishment mousse. This is the add fake snow, some gel medium. This is the stamp pads for my embossing powders, which I have here in these trays. These are my embossing powders. And then these down here are all of my brads, and I put them in these little jewelry containers, and so I have them all separated and they're just all stacked in there. So I have the 3 of those. Another thing that I need to use more of, and so I have them all in there. And then I have my Big Bite. This is my cardboard box for my sprays. And then down here is just 8.5 by 11 paper. I found this at a thrift store and I painted it, and then I put like brick paper on the bottom part because it's that weird plywood, and so that holds the 8.5 by 11. And so that's that corner. And then my craft cart, the one that I use all the time, just kind of sits in the corner. Since I sit right here is my chair here, and so I sit in the corner there, and I will go through my craft cart and insert that into the video now. So let's take a look at my craft cart. And this is the main thing that I use. This sits right next to where I sit, and it has all the tools and everything that I reach for is in this cart. And so we can start on the top here. And I have this little divider here, and it fits 12 by 12 paper, but I don't use it for that. I had used it once to try like to make my own kits, and so it was easy to put different papers and stuff in. And I just found it. I eventually want to paint it, but I mean, you can't even see it, so I haven't worried about it too much. But in it, I have my paper towel roll that has all of the ink spots and stuff from my splatters. I have paper trimmer. This is a plastic plate that I use when I want to trace a circle. This is an all-purpose mat that I know you guys have seen, and it looks atrocious because I do use it for everything, painting and everything. And then of course I have a hammer because why not? This is some transparency film that I purchased because I thought that it would be really good to use for shaker pockets. And so I haven't actually used it yet, but it sits here. This is my sheets of fun foam that I need to get some more running out there. This is just a bunch of note paper for like notepads and stuff. I write myself notes all the time when I think of something, or if I need to put it in with pictures, then I have an idea, then I just write it there. So this whole section is note paper. This is all of my Cricut tools here. On this side, I have some tweezers, and then of course a Minion Pez dispenser, because who doesn't need a Minion Pez dispenser? And then he goes with the Minion chopsticks here, which I just think are hilarious because it looks like he's on stilts. So those just make me smile. And this cup here has all of my pens and pencils, anything like that. Here's some glue. This little bucket here, I have my static static pouch for like embossing, but I also use it for when I want to take the sticky off my stickers. I have a glue remover. I have some little cards. Here's a Top Golf one. My husband loves Top Golf, and he made me be a member with him so I could play. And so the only thing I feel useful for this card is crafty things. So it sits in here. And then here's some sandpaper. This is all of the like dauber sponges, like these things here are in there. I have a magnifying glass. Here's some glycine bags, some photo corners. And then on the front, I have a bunch of these cups. And so I think the round ones are a Container Store, and I think the square ones are Ikea. And so I have this sign that my best friend got me. Sorry if that offends anyone, but I just love that sign. And then like these are all the sponges and these dauber things. I have my distress sprayer here. Under here on this level is all the glue, and so I have a bunch of like Elmer's glue, glue stick, tacky glue. I put my E6000 in here. There's some Mod Podge back there. This side is tape, glue tapes, and like the photo splits that are a million years old, but I keep them in here. I also have some, I just purchased some new ones I need to put in here, and then some baby wipes. And then in this row here, I have tape runners. These are some refills for the tape runners. In this bucket, there's a bunch of miscellaneous. Here's some posts for a post album. Here's a little tiny acrylic block. This is some Happy Planner rings. So this bucket is kind of the junk drawer of the cart. And then down here I have crayons. There's gel pens, and then this is just some other pens in here. And under here, that is some watercolors. This basket has a bunch of mixed media like textures, gesso, that kind of thing that don't fit where I'll show you that I also put them. And so that is the front of the cart. And then when you turn to the side, it's all of my tools. And so here is the foam. You see me use it all the time with my stylus to add dimension to my flowers. This is wire cutters. This is also like for floral, and I have rubber bands because they open. I don't want to stab myself. Some other tools. Here's a X-Acto knives. Here's a bone folder. This is washi tapes that I don't use in my layouts. I just use them to hold stuff like my dies and things like that. This is the Tim Holtz Pokey Tool. I don't know the actual name of it, but Pokey Tool works because it's pretty pokey. This is a distressor, Tim Holtz distressor, some actual tape. I have all my scissors. Here's a rotary cutter here. This is some white acrylic paint that I will add water to when I want to make some white splatters. So that's the side, and then the back side of the cart has some more cups, and I just have them hanging on the back of that divider thing. I have my little minion cup here, and this one has a bunch of tools in here. Some Winka Stellas here. There's some pins that write on photos, another little stylus spatula thing. Here's my glue pen. This has all scissors that are that cut shapes, or not shapes, but edges. This is my fringe scissors. I need to use these more because I really like to make fringe. This has all my rulers. So I have my T-square ruler. I have these rulers that rip the paper in the different edges. And then this one folds out and it's like an extra long ruler. So they just sit in this bucket here. Here's some paper towel rolls. On this side, I have some Cricut spatula things. This is one of those, what is that called? Like the little stylus for the gyms. Ooh, and it has like the wax tip on it. Oh, this is hard with one hand, with little wax tips on them. So I have that in there. These are punches that are like corner punches, different sizes here. These are some palette knives, some emery boards, some water pins. Down here, this is some other punches. This is that We Are Memory Keepers hole reinforcer punch. This is a circle punch. This one punches a tiny hole. It's a Martha Stewart one. Some more corner punches. This is supposed to be for like stitching, and you run it across the paper, and I don't find this very useful at all. Like, maybe it's just how I use it, but it's like these little pokey things don't really poke the holes through the paper. I don't know. I'm gonna keep trying though and see it, because it could just be user error for the stitching. But so I have that in there. I have my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, and then some staples there, and then I have an actual stapler and staple. And so that is the back side. And then sorry about my clock. As you know, it's always in my videos. It just never seems to matter. I don't hear it now, but I know that it might bother some of you guys. And then on this side, all I have is like the thickers rulers, so that you can use it to help make your, see, it's hard with one hand to help make your titles. Well, I can't get one out. I'll show you the picture. So it's curved ruler like this so that you can make curved titles. And so I have that just hanging on the side. But that is my craft cart. And like I said, it's what I use the most and what I reach for all the time. And it sits right next to my seat. Okay, so then when you come over here, I have these two paper racks. One time my mom and I were putzing around in Phoenix, and a scrapbook store was closing up there. It's been a while, and so we purchased 4 of these. So she has 2 of them, and I have 2 of them. And it holds all of my paper, and they are all organized. So each of them have labels: vintage, vintage floral, vintage background. You can tell this is the paper. I'm doing a vintage to modern series. And so because I have all of this vintage paper, quote unquote, that I love, but I need to get used up, so I have water, sky, postage, friend, family. So they're all organized here. And probably 2 years ago, I took apart paper pads and put them in categories so that I would actually use them, because since the paper pads don't have embellishments with them, I wasn't reaching for them. And so by separating them into theme, because that's how I scrapbook, it's helped me find these papers and use them. And then on top of here, I just have a board across the top. This is another silk screen that my mom made, some angel wings, and they're so glittery. I don't know if you can really tell in the video, but they're so pretty. And so up here I have this little paper Santa that I made at my local scrapbook store. They had a class, and I'm obsessed with Santas, and so I thought this was perfect, and I just love him, and so he gets to stay out all year long. And I have some pipe cleaners in that. This is some border strips. These are some books. This is like a sticker book. And then of course I have my friend's special 25th anniversary magazine there that I had to have. This is a cross stitch that I made, that I finished. It's the only one I've finished, but so I have that in here. And then I just have all my paints up here. This is the paint brushes, and then I just have these like wooden sticks in here because I'm going to put these on a sign outside. This little mouse here, and then I have this scrapbook in a frame I need to put on the wall, but this is my stepfather, and my mom made this for me. He actually passed away. Somebody hit him on his motorcycle while they were texting about 10 years ago, and so, if you're out there, watch for motorcycles and don't text while you drive. But that is my PSA for the day. And then in the middle are my distress inks that I have all here. And then I have my Nuvo drops and glitter glue. And then these 4 down here are glitter. And so up here with the distress inks, I have them with the little things Velcro to the bottom. And then if I have these little daubers, then I've put them in little bags because I do like to use those. And I made this little book, and it has the name, like I inked it and then put the name of it. And then if it has, because I have these brushes up here, if it has a little brush, then I have brush with a check mark back there. And I just use, these are just Project Life cards that I wasn't going to use, and then I put a hole in them, and it hangs there so that I can flip through and match the colors. This one's funny. This is Picket Fence. It's on there, but it's white, so you can't really tell, but I guess that tells you that it's white, right? And so that's how I do my distress inks. And then of course I have my little friend's photo frame here. This book down here is my stencils, and so I'm gonna have to get a bigger one, but it's just an 8.5 by 11, and I have all my stencils in here because, like you saw with my stickers, I like to flip through things, but I don't like to dig for them, which is probably why my stamps don't get used as much, because I have to dig for them. I've been thinking about making a like stamping everything and making it a binder and putting, you know, where that stamp is, but you know, in all my free time I'll get to that. And then this is just some books down here that I've had, and some 8.5 by 11. This one is all of the things that I have for slice, so what I can use that for. It's all in there. And then when you come over here, this cabinet here is the only cabinet that I've bought brand new specifically for my craft room. And it's because I had these big bins, and they were just stacked. And so if I wanted this one, I had to remove all the top ones, and that wasn't working for me. So I bought this cabinet at Ikea. The only thing I bought brand new, which is funny. And so this has, at the top is my fabric for my no-sew blankets and some extra fabric that I have. And then this bin here is Christmas, and it's set up the same way that my stickers and embellishment bins were over on the other side. It's just that I have so much Christmas stuff that it needed a bigger bin. And then of course wedding and love, because I've been collecting stuff to do my wedding, and so of course a bigger bin, as well as beach and tropical. And then of course we have Disney here. And so then as you go down, these are my 12 by 12 page protectors that I have. These are some pocket pages. Fabric scraps go here, and then I have denim here, and then this is lace and doilies, doilies being the fabric doilies. And then this is just another photo keeper. And then this is all my travel gear when I want to go to crops, and then an extra table. And then you come to this side, and we're back around to the other corner. That's the door out to the dining room. And so this shelf houses a lot of stuff as well. And as you can see, I've used all the vertical like height as I possibly can. Up at the top, these are some mini albums that I've made a long time ago. That's a little frog I was painting. This has seashells in it. This is all my DMC floss. I inherited my grandmother's big bin of DMC floss, and this is all that's left. I've been taking it out and putting it into these bins. Let's see if I can grab one. And color coding them and wrapping them on the things. And so, you know, that takes me some time. But so I have, that's all that's left of that. And then these shelves are just, you know, seashells. This is some lace. I got some pearls back there. That's a roll of mesh ribbon. This has jewelry making stuff in it. This one right here is napkins and doilies. Here is wood, what are those called? Craft sticks, some Scrabble tiles, my jar of buttons, which I finally just used some buttons on a layout, and I got to use that jar. There's a Santa that I need to paint, some burlap and lace ribbon that came in that little container, a stamp that I love. These two have ribbons in them. And then you come down here, and I have my Canon Selfie, my label maker. This one has all the bling in it, and then this is just like little baggies and some tape that I just recently purchased. This container here holds all my washi tape, and then these things here are my like fussy cut, and so I like these little packs that you can get, mostly Craft a Clock, and then you just fussy cut them. And so I'll just grab a bag and a tray, and I use one of these as a trash and go sit and watch TV, and I'll cut them out. So I have that kind of collected here. This is my brand new stuff. I put it here so that I use it. Like I said, I'm part of my creative scrapbook kit, so I put my newest kit here, and then these are just some things that I purchased that I can't wait to use, like this. Oh, can't wait. These are current and last month's kits from my creative scrapbook, or if I bought like a collection, I put them in here. And this is a new thing for me. I didn't usually scrapbook by collection, and so there's no rhyme or reason to this. I just kind of know what's in here, and when I'm thinking about a picture or scrapping something, I'll reach for here because I know what's in here. And so everything's in one of those little baggies so that everything's together. This is the kit that I made for my vintage to modern series. I need to get back to that, but it's just because I love the vintage aesthetic, and so I have so much of it and then I don't use it. And so I just pulled a bunch out so that I always reach here first before I go searching. And believe it or not, I do know what's in here. I promise. And then this little I don't know, container shelf thing, it's little drawers, and it has my Project Life cards in here that I've collected, and so I need to get those used up. As you can see, I use them for everything, my labeling and my distress inks. Like, I just need to get those labeled up or used up. And then so this is some extra type paper. It's kind of like how I have these, that because I have so much. This is the same thing. I have so much of one category, it won't fit in my paper racks. And so these are some paper pads that are still together or projects that I've kitted. This is Disney, it says it here, so all that's Disney paper. We have beach and tropical paper here, and then we have Christmas and Halloween here. And then these are my colors. And so you can see I have the little tabs sticking out here for what color they are. And they are in the containers on their side so that it holds it up in there. And then down in this door, I have all of the stuff for my Mink machine, and then I do have scraps from the Cricut. This one is all my rolls of Cricut, goes in there. And then this one also says paper pads, so I have my 6x6, 6x8, and then there's some paper pads I just couldn't take apart because I feel like they all went together. Like this one is all kind of the same color scheme. So I do have some paper pads still put together. And then I have, this is just some boards and stuff there. And lastly, you can see my table here is where I sit, and it's just a round dining table. In fact, the edges fold down if you wanted to, but here's a chair that I recovered in this floral pattern here. I have a stool, and then this is my very professional lighting system here. So I have this kind of vintage light that hangs over, and then I have these that I put on the side, and they're just connected to this little shelf here. And then I have some current pictures that I'm working on are kind of under there. I have this for when I put my tablet in here and I'm watching my YouTube videos of all you crafty peeps. So I watch that, my trimmers here. And then my husband stuck this like an L bracket at the top, and then put my tripod, attached it to it so that I put my camera up there when I'm filming. And then he tells me he decorated it for me, and he just wrapped some of my flowers around it, which I thought was funny, and I've left it up there for the entire time, so it works perfect. But that is my tiny little eclectic scrap room here. I've used every possible space in here. And I keep trying to tell my husband we should close in the carport so I can expand the craft room, but you know, he just laughs at me, which is what I expect. But thank you everyone who's liked and subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit those buttons below. If you want to be notified when I have videos, hit the little bell. And make sure you check out everyone that's hopping along and showing their craft rooms. We get to all see everyone's crafty spaces and the spaces they love, and they're always evolving, so they're never perfect. I always have projects that I want to do in here. But thanks guys, have a great day. Bye.